My dear brothers and sisters, good morning to you. So, welcome to the last class of our foundational course, day 15, and we'll begin with the text from Genesis. So I'm sharing this text with you. This text is little different from the original Genesis narrative because this Lamdin text, he has modified the text so that he incorporates all the verbs patterns that we have learned so far. So let me start here. I will go with reading, then I will explain to you some nuances of the text. Then we will listen to your queries. Then we will finalize or we'll sum up whatever we have studied so far. And I will introduce you to how to take Hebrew further. Then we will conclude with imperfect. Very good. Here we go. Reading Cain and Abel. First I read, then I'll explain to you. Yada ha Adam.
I think your screen is not shared for it.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Good, thank you. So here we go. Reading Cain and Abel. Yada ha Adam yet Havva. Yalada Havva ben le Isha Vakara yet Shem Hayelet Kain. Yalada Gam yet Hevel Ahi Kain. Kain Haya Obed yet Ha Adama Va Hevel Haya Roye Son. Hevi Kain Mitperi Ha Adama Minha La Adonai. Vahevel Hevi Gam Hu Mi Bekorot Sono. Hayata Minhat Hevel Tova Be Ene Adonai. U Minhat Kain Lo Hayata Tova. Hara la Kain Mevod. Harak Kain yet Hevel Ahi Basade. Amar Adonai El Kain Aye Hevel Ahiha. Amar Kain Lo Yadati. Hashomer Ahi Anohi. Amar Adonai Me Ashita Kol Deme Ahiha Soakim Yelai Min Ha Adama Va Atta Arur Atta Min Ha Adama Asher Lakaha Yet Deme Ahiha Me Yadeha. Amar Kain El Adonai Oni Gadol Mimmeni. Very good. Let's explain because the text is little bit not clear, the vowel points, but it's in PDF file it's like that. Maybe if you have the original text it is, but it's not much difficult. Let me explain here. Yada. So this yada, we have seen this verb. This is a third weak verb. In the sense, third position is weak, ayin. Yada is to know. To know biblically means to have intercourse. So here ha Adam. Adam had intercourse, or literally Adam knew yet Havva. Havva is Eve. So yet is definite. For definiteness, we take object marker. So yet is object marker. So Adam knew wife or Eve. Then Yalada from Yalad. Yalad means to bear a child. So it's like Katuva, Katau, Katuva. So Yalad, Yalada. Third person, feminine singular. Hawa. Eve bore a child. Or here, name. Bain. La Isha. To her husband or to her man. Eve bore a child or son to her husband. By Kara. Here it is a third aleph. Third aleph we have not seen, but third aleph just adds one more point here. In the sense it makes this one silent. So Kara, and she called yet shame. Shame is name. Name of the child. So here we will explain to you today how to make the construct. Shame, Hayeleth, the name of the child, Cain. Yalada, she bore. Gum, also. Yet, object marker. Hevel, Abel. Ahi, means brother. Ahi, brother of Cain. So here Ahi is again a construct. So how this Ahi makes a construct we will see today. Ahi Cain, brother of Cain. Cain, Haya, Oved, Yet Kadama. Cain, Cain. Haya, we will see this verb. Haya means to be. To be, here it's a past. Cain was. Oved, it's a participle form. O-A. Avad means to serve, to till the ground. So, Cain was a tiller of the ground. Yet ha Adama. Adama is ground or earth. Adam is man, that Adam proper noun. Abel, Haya was. Roye we have seen, to shepherd a flock. So Roye, son. So he was shepherding a small cattle. Heavy. So Va means to come. Here it is he form, to make it come, in the sense to bring. Cain brought. Peri we have seen, fruits of the earth, or from the fruits of the earth. Cain brought from the fruits of the earth. Minha, offering or sacrifice. La Adonai, to the Lord. And Abel, Hevi also brought. Gum, who he also brought. Bekorath means firstborn of the cattle. Hayata, from Haya, so it's like Hayata, Katauta. Hayata, Minhat, the sacrifice of Abel, construct form. Minhat Abel, sacrifice of Abel was Tova, good. Bayane, in the eyes of the Lord. Sacrifice of Abel was good in the eyes of the Lord. Who Minhat Cain, the sacrifice of Cain, lo Hayata, it was not Tova, it was not good. Hara means to become angry. Hara always takes with the la. So he was angry. So Cain was angry very much. Mevod. Or it means to Cain it was angry very much. So something like it, because it's in a la, it always takes a la construction. Hara, la, Cain, Mevod. Harag, killed. Cain killed. Yet Hevel, Ahi. Here Ahi is his brother. Basade, in the field. Cain killed Abel, his brother, in the field. Amar Adonai El Cain. Amar, to say or to speak. The Lord said to Cain, Aye Abel Ahiha. Aye, where? Where is Abel, your brother? Ahiha. Here, Ahiv is his brother. Ahiha is your brother. Amar Cain. Cain said, or Cain replied, Lo Yadati. So it's here from Yada is a third person here. Here it is a first person, common. Like Katauti. Lo Yadati. I did not know. Hash Shomer. So we'll see this one. Ha becomes an interrogative particle. Shomer. Shomer is a observer or overseer. Amai Ahi. Ahi is my brother. Anohi, I. Am I the keeper of my brother? So here it becomes a question. Ha, we'll explain today. Then Amar Adonai, the Lord said, Me Asita, Asa means to do. Asita means you have done. What you have done? Kol Deme ahiha, coal, voice. Deme, voice of the blood of your brother. So Akim. So Akim, here it refers to actually bloods of your brother are crying out. So Ak is crying out. Elai, to me, min ha adama, from the earth. Va atta. Atta means you. Arur, cursed. Again, it's a repetitive form to give emphasis. Cursed are you. Min ha adama, from the earth. Asher, lakaha, means which has taken, yet, which has taken the blood. Deme ahika, blood of your brother, from your hand. Yad means hand. From, me is from. Yadeha, your hand. Then Amar Cain El Adonai. Cain said to the Lord, Oni. Oni is affliction or guilt. Oni Gadol Mimeni. The guilt or the affliction is great for me, or great for me that I can't bear. That's the implied meaning. So here, what I want you to know here properly from grammatical point of view is that verb khaya. So this is something special which we are going to see today. And the interrogative particle kha. So here we have how the kha, earlier we have seen kha is a definite article, but kha also is an interrogative particle, means it initiates a question. So we will see this shortly. And here, look here, one thing that is from textual point of view. Often we say that Cain offered not so good offering and Abel offered the good ones. But the text does not say anything about that. The text is simply silent. So the text simply says that Cain's was not acceptable, Abel's was acceptable. So we need to see, in the text, it's not mentioned, but in our catechism classes, if you remember, the catechism teachers might have told us, like Cain brought the so-called the leftovers in the field, and Abel brought the fattened calf. So these all their own expressions, but actually this is not in the text. So from the text, what is there is only, from here we can understand it was because of God Cain was created, not necessarily because of Cain himself, because the earlier authors, they wanted to show how sin came to be. So that is the intention. So, but they are not sure how sin came to be. So they leave the question open. And if you read a little more ahead, just to give you a taste of Hebrew, maybe you can take your English Bible also. You take English Bible and come to, if you have English Bible, come to chapter 4. In chapter 4:6, there, the Lord tells Cain, why are you angry? Why is your face cast down? So here it's a very beautiful in Hebrew, because suppose whenever we get angry, what happens? Suppose Mr. Terence, in our anger, does our face go up or go down?
Face go down.
When we are angry?
Yes.
Are you sure? Go down. Does it go up anytime?
When we are happy.
No, in anger.
In anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it will go up, and we are very, very angry, and we want to give some strong reply and all. That
Okay.
time it will go up.
Okay, very good. So the Hebrew text has it very beautifully. So like suppose if you are angry with somebody who is inferior to you, your face goes up. If you are angry with somebody who is superior to you, your face goes down. Okay, that is the direction how anger moves. So here, Cain is standing in front of God. So God is superior to Cain, and Cain's face goes down. Okay, then the text has, the Lord tells, if you do good, you may come up. If you do evil, that you will die, or the sin will have its its hand on you, and you have to control its telling. So here, for this particular Hevel is taken by the book of Ecclesiastes. In Ecclesiastes, often we have that expression, vanity of vanities. So that vanity is from Hevel. Hevel, actually Ecclesiastes takes this Hevel from this Cain and Abel narrative. And he tells Hevel, that is Abel, even though he did very many good things, even though his offering was satisfactory to God, God did not save him. God let Abel to die in the hands of Cain, and Ecclesiastes takes that concept and develops in his entire book, saying that even God can't save you in certain circumstances. It will happen according to your fate or according to predestination. So he develops it beautifully, that if you take this story in parallel with Ecclesiastes 9, it has a beautiful reflection you can think over. So here what I want to communicate is that the biblical author wanted to show how sin came to be, how sin came to this world, or how people were not good, even though the creation was good. So he's trying to make sense. That's why he's very, in the sense, he is ambiguous in writing about the Canaan story. So the interpretation is different, but actually in the text, according to the text, it is because of God, Cain is created, not because of Cain's his own evil inclination. But in our catechism classes, we have a negative image of Cain often. So just
Father,
yes, Mr. Kumar.
Father, if you read that word, the Bible book I have, then Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? Why that scowl on your face?
Yeah.
If you had done the right thing, you would be smiling." So this particular word has been interpreted that if you are given the right offering, I would have accepted your offering and you would be smiling now. This is how the theologian says about this particular point. This is where this starts. The catechism teachers, many theologians start saying that somehow the offering of Cain is not acceptable to God because he was not doing the best thing. So that is where it starts from there.
So that's our interpretation. But the text does not means the text is telling both of them offered good things. Okay, Cain, because he was a agriculture man, he brought from there, and Abel because of
what is written in verse 7, Father? 4:7 in Hebrew.
Yeah, 4:7 is
Hebrew.
If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is contrary to you, but you must rule over it.
In Hebrew, Father?
Yeah, in Hebrew.
4:7.
1 minute. Here we need to see the politics behind. Okay, the politics is the people of Israel were primarily nomads. Okay, so they were taking care of the cattle, and the people who were living in Canaan, they were agriculture people. So they wanted to put down the agricultural people. So they want to demonize that. So to demonize them, they create a story. So we need to understand from that perspective. And another perspective is that a younger son motive. Younger son motive is primarily predominant in Genesis. In the sense, the elder one is rejected, younger one is chosen. Because the so-called elder ones of the people of Israel, people of Israel's time, they were rejected and God chose Israel because they were very young, in the sense, in the very small. So that motive also we need to keep in mind. So this is actually a metaphor of that story, the tension between the agricultural society and the nomadic society.
Okay.
Very good. So from 4:8, so Vayomer Kain El Hevel Ahi Vaihi. So here 4:7. Sorry, 4:7. Hello, Im.
It just says that the offering was good and the offering was bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything else. Why or anything, no?
Yeah, it doesn't say, ma'am. It just says that both of them offered, but God chose one. So the problem lies with God, not with the brothers Cain and Abel. So if I don't know that with what criteria God judged the offering.
But the Bible, the interpretation is totally different here. It says the Lord was pleased with Abel and his offering. So that's okay.
It means the Lord accepted, because it's the Lord's fault, not necessarily Cain's fault. Okay, so I always feel compassionate towards all the rejected ones in the Bible. For
Yeah,
some
okay.
other reason, no? They are rejected for no reason. Hagar,
We are all
Esau.
we are all rejected, Father. No one is
Yeah,
pure.
even the elder son in the prodigal son story, no? Suppose if
Yeah.
we have to interpret in a context of a very poor family where the younger one has taken all the property and swindled, and that must have been the hard-earned property of the elder one. And now the elder one's also is injustice is done to him again, no? So means it's all complicated story, but still Bible has its own way of
Whoever
looking.
comes last will be also paid the same amount of money, right?
Yeah, sure, that is there.
But in
So
that
to the
prodigal,
first group,
in
he shows justice. To another
yeah,
group, he shows
that
mercy. So you could
from
have,
the perspective of prodigal sons, the elder son is more cunning than the younger son because he was with his father, but he is so much of furious when his sons came. Even he came back and he asked his father, "Why you are not given me? You are not celebrated for me." That means all these things were kept in his side, but he has not expressed it.
yeah,
So I
sure,
think both are equally bad.
sure.
Younger,
Both of them means the elder one remained a servant, and the younger one wanted
he
to be
never
a
took the
servant.
opportunity to be with us as a son. It is
Yeah,
like the
they never
yeah.
enjoy
It's
that
like
son.
the Israelites wandering in the desert for 40 years because they never identified that God is their father. They are still in the slavery mentality. That's why they have
Sure,
been usually falling down. I think that portrays the difference between the younger son and the elder son in the
elder
book.
son.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Kumar. Okay, so good here. So here the verb that is used is nasa. Nasa means to lift. Then vayim lo le petah, that is your sin is lying at your door. Rawards, to lie down. It's like a snake lying down. Okay, so here it's only the directional verb is used, Mr. Kumar. Maybe we'll
Okay.
discuss it later.
Okay, fine. Okay. No problem.
Okay.
We can
Thank
discuss.
you.
Thank you.
So, any doubt with this? Now, let me take some moments to listen to your queries on the lessons which you have taught. Then I will go ahead with today's lesson. Yes, if you have any doubt, means you have ample time to revise your lessons.
I have one silly doubt, Father.
Yes, Mr. Kumar.
Because I started revising from the beginning, not on the past, what we learned recently. The
Okay.
first one is when we say, because the syllabification and the vowels of different type are very important in the later stage too for the conjugation of the verb. This is where we cannot just neglect that. Though it sounds same, we cannot simply neglect that because we have to grammatically know that. Then only we can do all the conjugations, prefixing or suffixing it. So
Yes.
when we say unchanged long vowels, is it Olam is also included in that?
Now, once
The
again, unchanged long vowel.
unchanged long vowels. Normally, it comes with the matter lexion, that is wow, and
Yeah,
but
sure.
is Olam is also included in that. Say, suppose I use aleph plus on the corner I put a dot. It is O, right? So is
Yes.
it unchanged vowel or changeable vowel? Olam.
It's no unchangeable.
Okay, but in the list it is not mentioned as unchangeable. Even
Yeah,
in
no
even in the textbook of Lambden textbook or our notes also, it is not mentioned as unchangeable. It is mentioned as changeable. But
changeable.
in the grammatical scenario, in many areas, it is mentioned as
It's
changeable,
unchanged.
unchangeable
Yeah.
vowel. So which is
Yes.
correct actually?
But maybe okay. So it depends. Like first of all, let's understand the vowels were later additions. Even without vowels, they were making sense of the text through matras lectiones. Okay. So that is the original vowel, not points, but vowel sounds we can say. So like for example, lovely. In the word lovely, that Y is still a consonant, but it has a vowel sound, or it has a vowel pointer, or some vowel quality it has, that E quality. So that's how they were trying to make sense. And the vowels were added later, and the changing and unchanging depends on the syllabification. Like we said at the beginning, CVC, CV pattern.
Yeah.
So in CVC pattern, always it changes.
Yes.
But in CV pattern, it does not change. By CV, we mean consonant plus vowel. By
Yes.
CVC, we mean consonant, vowel, consonant. So in that CVC pattern, there is a possibility of change. But in the CV pattern, there is no possibility.
Okay. For example, the word ohev, enemy, ohev.
Okay. Oh.
Here, the ho sound is unchanged. The vowel in the aleph is unchangeable, right? That's what the grammar
Correct.
says. Yeah.
Yeah.
So based on only that the conjugation of other letters following it is changing in the if it follows with the hey sound or
Okay.
sound. So that is my
Okay.
confusion because I thought olam is changeable vowel, which is a short vowel ho, but
Okay.
here it mentioned as unchangeable long vowel.
Okay. So by unchangeable, changeable, so we need to understand, for example, here, let's take this. I share my screen with you.
I hope everybody is getting it.
Yes. Okay. So here, let's take this. Suppose we have here the word davar. So davar means word or thing.
Matters.
Okay. So suppose we make a plural of it, it becomes
Devarim.
devarim.
The first syllable R sound is reduced.
Yeah.
Devarim.
So it becomes shua. So we added Dagesh here. Devarim. So here, if you look at the vowel points here, so both are long vowel. A. So here, when plural, they, for example, here, when it is short, the stress is here, davar. But when it becomes a plural, the stress falls here, devarim. So when the stress goes there, it gets shortened. The first consonantal sound gets shortened. So da becomes a, devarim. And here, so this becomes changeable and this becomes unchangeable. So though the vowel pointer or vowel mark is same, in a few places it is changeable like here. In some other places it remains unchangeable. So the formation or declension also makes or plays a role, Mr. Kumar. So we just can't say that it's with one rule, some will be changing, some will not change.
Okay. Understood.
Right.
And one more point for them.
Yes,
This the hect, when you have hect and ka without dagish,
okay.
how do you pronounce actually? The pronunciation seems to be very difficult actually, actual pronunciation. Maybe I can use hect as h, but in reality, is it so difficult to pronounce?
Yeah. So here, for example, the question being asked is this sound and okay. So suppose
both are bark.
Yeah. Okay. So here, this has no problem because
yes.
This is ka. So this sound has no problem. So only if it's here, just you remember it's this sound we usually say German
Bach.
So this sound is somewhere between K and K. So somewhere between K and K. So somewhere K. So that way you can think of some sound in between K and K. So some languages like German, Russian also they have this sound. But European languages, they don't have this sound. Even in Anglo-Saxon family, English does not have this sound. Okay. But here they don't make much. Even if you go to modern Israel, modern Hebrew, they take these two together. So they take it as a ka sound. So they don't differentiate. So this is also taken as ka sound today.
Hakma.
Like ka, like K sound. Okay. So like the same sound, whether it's with the dagesh or without dagesh, does not make any difference.
Don't need to say ka.
Not necessarily. because only these two are which we have seen earlier, like
Ba and pay.
Beth and
Pay and bake.
yeah, they are very particular, because if you see here, so it becomes completely different.
They, and this is
So it becomes bay and it becomes ver.
Bay.
So here it is bay sound, here it is bay sound, and here it is like hard, and here it is
Fay.
PHRF sound. So only these two Bhagat Kapat letters are different when it comes to pronunciation, with or without dagesh, but the other ones, they don't matter. Other ones, they don't change much. Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Okay, good. Mr. Kumar, thank you. Any other doubt from other Father Jose, Mrs. Karen, Mr. Terence?
Not many further, but all very, very like see that Shiva rules and all.
Okay.
I was not able to keep it in mind for a long time.
Okay.
Only said, okay, when you are having a short vowel, Shiva doesn't, it is not sounded.
Correct.
Okay. So is it applicable only to short A? That means the patak, or
okay.
it is also true for other vowels?
For others also.
Okay.
So for Shiva, sounded and silent. Okay. So first we'll see sounded. So when is it sounded? At the beginning of a word. Okay. Then when there is a doubling. And then when followed by a long vowel. So only these three instances, sir. At the beginning of a word, for example, Yerushalayim, that is Shua, but it's pronounced because at the beginning of a word, Yerushalayim, Ketautem. And then when there is a doubling, for example, Natati. See the other day, Natan, Natati. So here, Natati. So doubling is there. So when there is a doubling, it's pronounced. When followed by when preceded by a long vowel. So for example, something is preceding, like we had a word here. We have. Any word you remember?
Katalot.
Now followed by. Let me take.
Katalot, Father. Because yeah.
Yeah, correct. Katalot, correct. So that's a long vowel. So it's sounded. Good.
Yes, that's a vocal Shiva.
It's a vocal Shiva. Very good. That's a third one. In other places, it is silent. Okay, suppose if it comes at a different position in a word, it may be silent. And especially when it's preceded by a short vowel, it's
like
always
mitbar.
The minha, mitbar. So
mitbar.
So min is short. So that's why mitbar it becomes. Okay.
Father, one more point should be also considered here. If two Shivas coming together,
the first one is
silent and the other one is...
the first one is silent, the second one is sounded. Okay. So the first one is two Shivas.
This is what I said, for these kind of small hints it should be made as a strong roots, so that
it's a silent. The second one is sounded. Okay, so actually it's beginning of maybe you can understand this like a beginning of a syllable. So the first one closes the syllable, the second one opens the syllable. So that way, the second one is sound. Very good.
But so, in the case of that lastly, what we have seen, that Father, where this two Shivas were coming together, one was made as a patak, right, Father?
Yeah, one was made as a patak, correct.
Not a silent.
No, that is like suppose in a guttural. Guttural can't take a
yes, guttural.
so that become a patak.
Ataf patak.
Yeah, kataf patak, correct.
Okay.
Okay.
To be honest, Father, it's really complicated. I never felt a language because I'm very interested in learning languages, but
Okay.
because spending a lot of time keeping
Yeah.
it in
But
the
after a while, you find, suppose you do Greek, biblical Greek, no?
yeah.
Biblical Greek, initially it will look easy.
Yeah.
But as you go ahead, no, the declensions and conjugation will be very, very difficult.
Okay.
But Hebrew, initially, for about 15 lessons, it will be hard. Then after that, just it flows. So at the end of the day, you will see biblical Hebrew easier than biblical Greek. So
But
that's
the 15 is the most complicated one. That's the
yeah, I
basic.
mean, it happens, you know, because the entire mindset changes,
Yes,
and
yes,
that way.
it's
Sure.
very difficult to come out of the languages what we know already.
Sure, because they always affect us.
It always comes in picture. We are interpreting in the same way. Yeah, that means, as you said, that last in one of the class, we have to think in Hebrew, not in English. That's the best
Yeah,
way to express this.
correct. We have to think in Semitic terms. Okay. But at least that way we are blessed that we can, at least Indian languages, no? Some similarities they have. Europeans will find actually really very hard to understand the Semitic family.
And most of the Tamil grammatical things are exactly matching with Hebrew.
Yeah, they have taken from there.
Grammar. Almost 90% it's matching.
That was my doctoral dissertation actually. So I did a comparative study of a Tamil poem.
Did you publish any paper for that?
I have published my doctoral dissertation, and that's based on this grammar.
Okay. Did you made any public reading for that?
Yeah, I'll send you that link.
Please send me for that, please. I'm interested.
Okay, good. Thank you. So that's the doubt. And Father Jose, Mrs. Karen?
Father, you once we learn like a vocabulary,
yes,
then and we are able to identify the words, you know, like as we are reading the scripture, then we can just by guessing also know what that word is, right?
Yes, Karen.
And then we've got to find out exactly. We have to study the grammatical part so that we exactly understand how to pronounce that word. But by guessing, we can actually make out what that word is also.
Correct. So first one, when you look at the word, yes, Mrs. Karen, you are correct. First, we need to look at the root. Okay, the triconsonantal root. If we get the triconsonantal root, we more or less know the meaning. Okay, for example, if you know it is kaf, it is tau, and it is bet, katau, something to do with the writing. So it can be writing, writer, wrote, write in imperative, or let me write. So all this in that semantic field, it will fall. Everything to do with the writing. Then you go to the second step. That is second step, like there is some formula that I'll explain in the end. OA, that is always participle. OA, katal. Then pual, ua, that is either pual or in a passive form. So some patterns, if you know, okay, is it kotev or katav or kittu? So from here we can make the sense. So first we try consonant root, then the vowel pattern like OA, UA, EA. So these are vowel patterns. They tell which type of verbal or tense pattern it is. Then we can easily make sense of the meaning.
Framing these kind of rules is most important, Father. I think we need your support for this. Even after this, I will try.
Sure, I'll be there. Okay.
Preparing a presentation for that. Give me some time. As long as I'm in work from home, I have some time.
Yeah, you could.
So I can do it. So then I will send it to you. Once you correct it, then I will share with all other colleagues.
Sure. We can publish in our college website also. Good. So Mr. Kumar is working on combining all the rules which we have learned, and we will together, in the end, we'll put them together. Okay.
Thank you.
Good.
Father, will you share that with us?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Okay. And I will
And
also
also,
constantly
you
share
said also
some.
you will share with us some books which will help us to
Yes,
read it.
ma'am. I have made a list also, and I will send you today by group also.
Also, do you feel that we will be able to, with whatever we have learned, we'll be able to read like intelligence? We will be able to read.
No, I didn't get, ma'am.
Haven't tried of,
Come again.
with whatever we have learned, do you feel like we
Yeah.
will be able to read, like, that
Sure.
the full
Yeah,
scripture?
you will be able to read. I'll tell you the means how to go about in the end. Okay. How to keep the rhythm following. Because initially in any licensure studies, now for example, if you do your licentiate in Bangalore in here St. Peter's, they don't cover the entire Lamdin. So they cover maybe 20 lessons. And after that, the student has to learn and understand because they have to work with the text in original languages. So that it's a way, like we'll get the feel. Okay, I'll tell you how to go about. Okay. And also, even if you complete Lamdin, no? So in Biblicum, they say after you complete Lamdin, they just say it's only introduction to biblical Hebrew. And Hebrew still opens up. There is Hebrew A, Hebrew level, Hebrew A, Hebrew B, then poetic Hebrew, wisdom Hebrew. So there are a lot of still more studies are there. And that way, the Hebrew is an ocean. We can't still cover, but still we can little by little we can still make sense of the original text. And today we need not we need not worry about the grammar and all because yeah, there are softwares available. Just you take your mouse over any word and you get every information about the word, the grammatical part, the original root word, from which verb, from Akkadian or from Phoenician root it came out. So everything is there. So that way the learning is easier today. Only we need to know from where we can know. So if that is clear, then I think Hebrew will make sense. Okay. Good. So it's 9:40.
Father, you told about this Bible Works for
Yes,
us,
yes.
but it is not anymore available, right? For
Bible Works,
purchase.
it's like we have to buy it.
No, it is
Earlier-
not available for purchase.
No, it's available in App Store, no? Play Store.
No, they are not. When I went to that website, they simply says that they are not now anymore interested in selling that.
I see. I'm not sure. I'll check it. I'll check it.
I will send you the link of
Yeah,
that,
okay,
where
please.
from I got that information.
Okay, good. Very good. So now we pause for 2 minutes, then I will start my presentation.
Okay, Father.
Brother Terence, which was that book? The Bible, what Father has sent.
I'm sorry, I'm muted and I'm telling
No,
you back. www.bibleworks.com.
the Father sent one Bible to read in Hebrew. That is what you're talking about, right?
No, this is in the website.
Okay. So it was a book. What Father said to buy, to read.
That is a Hebrew Bible.
Yeah.
For that also, I asked them, and then they said that they will take something like 10-15 days to send.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Good. Here we go. So let me share my screen with you.
Father, that was in the BibleWorks.com.
Okay, sir. Okay, I will check, sir.
And say, just I will simply read that particular passage for you, Father. A special note.
Yeah, okay.
A special note to our friends. BibleWorks served the search for 26 years by providing a suite of professional this one. As of June 15, 2018, BibleWorks ceased operation as a provider of Bible software tools. We made this announcement with sadness, but also with gratitude to God and thankfulness to a multitude of faithful users.
Yeah, very.
That's what is given for that in the BibleWorks.com. But they have the downloads available. Still.
Okay. I will check, sir.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you. But it is a good work they have done. Okay.
It seems to be here for 26 years, and probably that load is very more, I think, for interacting. So they cease to support.
Yeah, just I also looking at the same page, but it's very sad. I'll see how we can go about. Okay.
Yeah.
There is one accordance is there for Mac and iPhone users. Okay. I'll share the details with you later.
Okay, thank you, Father.
Good. Very good. Okay. So here we go. Just we quickly run through the alphabets. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Waw, Zayin, Het, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Lamet, Mem, Nun, Samek, Ayin, Pe, Sade, Kof, Resh, Sin, Shin, Tau. Then the vowels, long and short, A, E, I, O, U, A, E. Good. And I have just picked up some grammatical points and I have put together from lesson 15 to 22. The key things which we means more than this, there is no grammar. So I have the basic grammatical concepts are covered here. And what is left over is the verbal patterns. I will explain to you in the end how we can make sense of the verbal patterns. Good. Let's begin with the interrogative ha. So if you look here, it is ha. It is a he with a patah and katuf patah. Any sentence may be converted into a question by prefixing a form of the particle ha to the first word. So here the rule tells just you add this particle to any word. That word could be a noun, that word could be a verb, that word could be an adjective. By adding that becomes a interrogation question. Look here. Has shalach ha ish. Shalach means to send. So did the man send? So here actually shalach means he sent. The man sent. So ha, if you add that ha in front, it becomes did the man send? The second one. Ha tova ha arets. Tova is adjective, feminine singular from tov. Ha tova. Is the earth or is the land good? Just you add ha. And before gutturals, it takes a different form in the sense, before gutturals, the form is ha. So instead of that, shua drops and the only a sound remains. Ha omed, ha ish. Omed is a participle, verbal adjective, oa. Is the man standing? But if the guttural is followed by long a or o, the form is he. He akalta. Have you eaten or did you eat? Akalta is like katauta. Katauta is you wrote. Akalta is you have eaten or you ate. He akalta is have you eaten. So here it's very simple for a grammatical. Why it changes it like two r's is not possible. So we can't say ha akalta. So to make the pronunciation easier, they make it a he. But just you remember, if ha sound is there, either it can be a definite article or it can be an interrogation. It can't be a definite article because definite article always will be followed by a dagesh. So here there is no dagesh, so we can easily make sense it's a interrogative particle. So look at the word here, ha. In definite article, there is no shua. That is the first difference. And in definite article, there is a dagesh. Here, no, there is no dagesh. So we will not confuse interrogative particle with the definite article, except in few places. For example, look at very few. The last one, ke katautem. So ha katautem. Here a is there, dagesh is there. Here a dagesh is there means it article. That is what we have learned. But here, if you look here, ha katautem. So here, since it is not a noun, only noun can take a definite article. And since it's a verb, we can always make sense. This is not a definite article, but it's an interrogative particle. So ha katautem means did you write? So earlier we said interrogative particle is different from the definite article. But here it looks like a definite article, but it can't be a definite article because the verbal forms do not take definite article in any languages. That is number one. Then directive, which I have already told you, the suffix a added to a noun indicates motion toward, like you just add a at the end. For example, eretz, earth, artsa. So because in the long ra, so that becomes a short. Artsa, it becomes towards the earth. Bayit, baita, to the house. If you would have be definiteness, it is habbaita, to the house. Har, mountain. Hahara, to the mountain. Or hera, mountain word. So here we will not confuse with a in verbal form. For example, katau, katua. In katua also a is there. But katua is not directive because it's a verbal. This directive is added only to a noun. Yerushalayim, Yerushalayima means to Jerusalem or to Jerusalem. So that way only to the nouns it is added. So we will not get confused. So though many things may look similar, but if you analyze closely, for example here, it's closer to katua. That's a third person feminine singular. But since it's in a noun, we will never miss because katua is for verb and here a is for noun. So that is a directive a. So wherever there is a in the end of a noun, we can say it is a directive. Yes.
Will it not be conflicting with the female singular noun?
And yeah, means okay. For example, hokma. Hokma is wisdom, but like go to wisdom. So that way they just don't say that hokma. They don't say. But here maybe we can understand it's a any noun that relates to space. Spatial nouns we can think of. So to spatial noun. For example, hokma. Hokma is not a spatial noun. It's an abstract noun, and there always they use L, two or two words.
Okay.
We can use L also here. But
they use the preposition for the abstractive nouns. Only for the spatial noun, we can go use this suffix.
Suffix, yeah, we can say. And also, and earlier maybe this we have only biblical Hebrew. In modern Hebrew, they don't use a. They always use like in English or in any other languages with preposition. So if you are to say to the land, they always say El haaretz. To the house, El habbai. So that way, the modern Hebrew has left this out.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you. So since the motion towards, so motion is always towards a space. So that way it's for spatial nouns we can take. Good, Mr. Kumar. Okay. Next one is very interesting verb, haya. Haya is actually to be verb. To be is participle. Haya actually means he was. In the preceding lessons, we have studied 4 types of non-verbal sentences. So in these 4 ways, we have made sentences so far. Number 1, with adjectival predicate, like tov ha ish. Ha ish, the man is good or the man is beautiful. Ha ish tov. With adverbial predicate, ha ish babbayit. So this also we have used. Ha ish babbayit. Hanna babbayit. Hazaken babbayit. The man is in the house. Then we have used with the existential predicate. There is no, there is a man in the house. Yesh ish babayid. Or there is money to me. So yesh kesaf li. So that way we have used there is. Then with nominal predicate like David, Melech, Tov. So like two nouns adjacent to each other, David, Melech. Then it becomes a nominal predicate. There's a David is a king. David is a good king. David, Melech, Tov. So these are the four ways we have made sentences so far. These sentences could be converted in past this way, like Haya, Haish, Tov. So here, Haish, Tov. If you add Haya, it becomes past. The man was good. Then Haya, Haish, Babayid. The man was in the house. Haya, Kesaf. There was silver. So Yesh becomes Haya. David, Haya, Melech, Tov. David was a good king. So this Haya is like Katav. So Haya is it's like Haya, Hayata. So it forms like that. So Katav, Katua, Katauta, Kataut, Kataut, Katauti, Katuvu, Katautain, Katautain, Kataunu. So the third Ha has a different form. So according to that form, it forms.
It's a call form, Father.
Pardon?
It's a call form. First,
it's a call form. Haya is a call form. But
what is the basic meaning of that, Father? Is it was or it is the to be verb? Because to be verbs am, is, or are to be verbs.
Yeah, in the past, sir.
Okay, all the call always past, right?
Yeah, all the call always past.
Okay, that's why you said it's a boss. Okay.
Yes, boss. Okay, like he wrote, we say Katav is he wrote.
Yes,
so only it's to be translated in past tense. Okay, very good. So that is Haya. The next one, cold. Cold is very constantly you will see. The entire nation went out or the entire village went out. All days I was praising. All the people you praise God. So cold. Cold is, so there is one more cold we have learned that is different. So I'm sharing my paint with you.
Voice, Father?
Pardon?
Voice?
Yeah, cold, that voice, correct.
Cold.
So here, cold is different from cold. So let us remove this.
Is this cold means also whole or just all?
Yeah, I'll explain. When it becomes whole, when it becomes, okay, shortly. Okay. So we have here. So this call is sound. So this is call. Okay, some you can write this way also. In some text it will be cold. And here what we have in our grammar is here cold. So both sounds are similar, are same, but the forms, morphology is different. Cold means all, every.
Cold, cold.
Good. So here, if you look at these examples, first we'll look at the examples. Kol yom, kol hayom. So here, kol remains same for everything. So it does not change according to person, according to gender. So it's a common thing for all. Kol yom is each day. Kol hayom is the entire day, like whole day. For example, each day I went home. Kol yom. Entire day. Kol hayom. So that is the difference. So when you make it hayom, it becomes the entire day. But it becomes without article, it becomes a countable day, every day, each day, every day. And kol hayom, all the day, the whole day. Suppose if it's plural, kol hayamim, all the days of my life. So all the days of my life, I will praise the Lord. Kol hayamim, so all the days. So suppose if it were to be say each day, it will be kol yom, without article. So with article, it refers to the entirety. And without article, it refers to countability, like 1 or 2, like that we can count. Look here, kol year, countable, each city, for example, Jerusalem, Jericho, Samaria, so different city. So each city is kol year. The entire city of Jerusalem, kol hayir, all the city, the whole city. Kol he arim, all the cities of the country, kol he arim. So with the article, it is entirety. Without article, it is countability. So that way we can remember. Okay. Good. Let's go to the next one. The construct chain. So this is again another thing. Look here, the explanation. There is in biblical Hebrew no preposition having the same range of meaning expressed by English of. The of relationship, that is the genitive case of the classical languages, has its correspondent in the construct chain. So here, look here, kol kannabi melek ha arets. Here, kol kannabi is actually literally voice the prophet. So when you put together voice and the prophet, it becomes the voice of the prophet. Then melek ha arets, the king of the land. So here, if you see, kol is indefinite. It only means voice. But in when it becomes a construct, it becomes a definite, the voice of the prophet. So it is not voice of the prophet, but the voice of the prophet. But if it were to be voice of the prophet, it will be just whole nabi. So this definiteness affects this one. So here, this may be little difficult in the beginning because whether to translate separately or to translate together. But when you understand here, when you come to the next step, it will be clear. Look here, davar is the word, but it changes in form. Devar Hannabi is the word of the prophets, Kannabim. Then Divre Hannabi, the words of the prophet. Divre Hannabim, the words of the prophets. Here, if you see here, Davar becomes Devar, Devarim becomes Divre, and Devarim again becomes Divre. And this is a construct form. So this form, how do we find? There are certain rules in Lambdin, like according to those rules, it's formed. But if it ends with this type of, like if it's a davar, it's instead of long, it's short, we can always make sense it's a construct. And why we say construct here? No. Here, if you look here, the stress always falls here. Kol Hannabi. So that way, since stress falls here, it gets shortened here. Here, Hannabim, so stress is here, so it becomes davar, becomes devar. So that way it becomes a construct in the sense, two words, though they are two words, they become one word grammatically. And that's why they are in possessive form or genitive case, and they are called construct chains in the Hebrew grammar. Clear? So this concept may be little different, or little difficult, but we will get it. And yes, here, if you remember, it is not the word of the prophet. The word of the prophet. So we don't change it. The of the prophets does not change. The word of here it changes. So that's the key thing. Often we think this will undergo change, but actually this undergoes change.
It is also like this Ben and Bene.
Yeah, correct. Ben and Bene. So
Bet and Boyd.
Yeah, correct. So that it takes a different form. But the consonantal root is same. Tavar. So Beth, Bain. So they don't change at all. Only the vowel points say. Okay, sir?
Okay, fine.
Okay. Good. The next one, independent or subject form of the personal noun. Already Mr. Kumar was sharing other day. Like when we say I, suppose he wrote, we say katao. And can't we say who katao? So that is, we usually think in English or in European languages, like having the separate personal subject pronouns. And what are the subject pronouns are here? Ani, anohi, that is I. So in some places it is ani, in a few places it is anohi. Both these are attested in the Hebrew Bible. Atta. Atta is you, masculine singular. We saw from the reading this morning when God addresses Cain, Atta, you are cursed, masculine singular. At, feminine singular. Who, he, it. Who also can mean he also can mean she. So here it is he, it, or he, she, it. Anahnu, there is no different form for a masculine or feminine. It's a common. Anahnu. Attem, masculine plural. Attain, feminine plural. In a few places, this is also found, like Athena. And Hem, they. Some places it is Hemma also. And Hena. Ani, Ano, Anohi. Suppose I am Yesu, I say Ani, Yesu. So here, when do we use the personal pronouns? Personal pronouns are used when we refer to or when we use them with nouns and adjectives, not for verbs. For example, when I say I wrote, I don't say Ani Katauti. I just say Katauti. That means I wrote. But suppose I have to say I am good, Ani To. And that way we, and suppose feminine, suppose Karen says I am good, it is Ani Tova. So only the adjective changes, but this one does not change. Ani Tova, Mrs. Karen will say Ani Tova, and we would say Ani Tov. Then Atta, Atta Tov, you are good. Suppose we tell Karen, it will be At Tova. So here it changes according to the person and gender. At, Ani, Anohi, Atta, At. So here, Ani, usually it refers to like whenever God talks about himself that I send you. In a few places that Ani is used separately together to give emphasis to God's address. That is Ani. That's the only exception. In other places, wherever verbal patterns are there, these are not used. They are only for nouns. Nouns are adjectives. Then interrogative pronouns. So like me means actually from, we have learned. And me also, it means min, me. Me means who. Ma means what. So here it's not inflected for number or gender like in English. It remains the same. For example, me asa yet hadavar hase. Asa means did. Who did this thing? Me at, who are you? To ask to a second person, feminine singular. But me at. So here it's different actually. But house, who, sorry, daughter, who you are. So it's whose daughter are you? So it's a dynamic translation. Lemi, la is there. So we translate as to whom did you give the money? Natata yet hakesa. And ma also has the same pattern. Ma, what did you do? So ma asita, what did you do? So that way we make ma and me. Me means who, ma means what. Then this is little different. Earlier we saw with the pronominal suffix, that is one pattern. This is a second pattern. Here, susi. Sus means horse. This is referring to possession. My horse, susi. Susha, your horse. Suseh, your horse. Suso, his horse. Susa, her horse. Susenu, then Susahem, Susahen, Susa, Susan. Okay, let me explain a bit because it's little different in Hebrew. Like, let's take paint. Okay, first let's understand the concept. So it is today with possessive adjectives or pronouns. For example, I say, my mother, my father, his mother, her mother. Okay. So here, mother, father. So it's a noun, mother is noun. And here it changes according to my mother. It becomes like, suppose my mother, it changes according to the person. His mother, her mother. Okay, let's just take this one. Suppose in Italian, we have to say this. It will be sua madre, and it is sua madre. Here, the difference between English and European language, German also this one. His mother, so his refers to, for example, Kumar's mother. Kumar, third person, masculine, singular. Suppose here, Karen's mother. So here, for Kumar, we doesn't change mother, it changes. And here is for Karen, according to the person, it changes. But look here, in Italian, it does not change according to the person, but it according to the noun. Madre, madre. So it also means the sua madre can mean his mother or her mother. Only the context makes the difference. So in English, the possessive noun goes along with the person addressing. For example, here it is Kumar and here it is Karen. But in Italian, it does not matter whether Kumar says it or Karen says it. It goes with the noun. So madre is feminine, so it takes sua. Suppose Kumar's father and Karen's father. So both will be suo padre and suo padre. So though Karen is feminine, it does not affect suo. And here, though Kumar is masculine, it does not affect the suo because it goes along with the noun that it qualifies. So it's masculine, it takes masculine. In Hebrew, it's both mixed. Okay, suppose I have to say, look at the words here.
Father,
Yes.
This possessive pronouns,
Yes.
actually we are suffixing it.
Yeah.
And for the proportional subjective objective pronouns, we are prefixing it in the same conjugation, right?
Yes.
Like we already learned about lay, low.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, there we are prefixing it. Now here we are suffixing it. That's the difference, right?
No, there also suffix, no? Li, lekha.
Lekha, yes. Okay, fine.
Yeah, there are also suffix. So both places suffixes only.
The only thing is we add this preposition in the front, then we change at the end li, lekha, lo.
Yeah,
li,
correct. Yeah.
Lohim, lohem, like that, right? Okay.
Correct. Yeah. And there it means there it was like a pronouns, but here it is refers to the possessiveness. Okay,
Yes.
to tell about the possession, we say. Susi, my hearts. Okay. Suppose Kumar, you say my hearts, it will be Susi, and Mrs. Karen says it Susi, it will be my hearts. It won't change. Susaka, your hearts. Susek, your hearts. That's for feminine, it's different. For masculine, it's different. It's like English. Suso, his hearts. Susa, Susenu, Suskem, Susakain, Susam, Susan. So their hearts, their hearts. So it's like it's both Italian and English mixed up, because in English only it changes according to the gender of the person, but in Italian it changes according to the gender of the noun. But here there is a change in gender and there is a change in number also. So only what I want you to remember is these endings are similar already. So we know E ending is always first person singular, my. Nu. Wherever nu is there, it is always first person common plural. So Susenu, our horse. Natanu. Ekha, ek. Always second person singular, masculine, and second person feminine. O, third person masculine singular. A with a dot. You remember with a dot like a bindu in the forehead of a woman. So that A. Then came, always masculine plural. Cane, always feminine plural. Then here, instead of hame, it is arm. Instead of hane, it is. But from here, the final ending, we can always make sense masculine plural. Masculine plural, masculine. Sorry, masculine plural. Here it's a feminine plural. We can always make sense. Good. So that concludes.
It's like I, me,
Father?
mine, right? I, me,
Yes.
mine.
Yes, Mr. Kumar. I,
Me, mine.
Yeah,
We are
because see,
talking
what
about
is my? Yeah, correct.
Mine. We are talking about possessive mine. So
Mine,
I,
yes.
me, mine. Like
Yeah.
we, us, ours.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Mrs. Karen. Mrs. Karen was asking something.
Yes, Father, I was asking. Now this is one noun.
Yeah.
No? So for every noun,
Yes.
it will change. That
Yeah, it
means,
will change like
but the
that.
endings will be the same. Is it that?
Yeah, endings
Like,
will be the same. For example, yeah, correct. Look here. I'll tell one more example here. So for example, here and Isa. So sorry, here Yalada, Hawa, Bain, La, Isha. So look here, Isha is her husband. So because this possessive, it expresses the possession, her husband. So for all the nouns will have this for possession, it takes these suffixes. So Ish is man, Isha is her man. Are you getting it, ma'am? Here. And in the second one, suppose you see here, his brother. So where was it here? Ahi, Cain, Oved, Cain.
Your brother.
Yeah. Where do we have that? Your brother. Here, yeah. Ahiha. Ah means brother. Ahiha, like Susiha. So here it's another form. Here in this Yod is there. So that is the second form that we have with Oti. So there, if you remember, here this Yod will come there. So that suffix here, Ahiha. But here, from here, we can make sense. Ha means something to do with the second person masculine singular. So you, your brother. And here, you see here, from your hand, me yadha. So it's like suseha. From your horse, from your hand.
Yes. Thank you, Father.
Good. Thank you. Okay, so we go to the last one, that is imperfect. So this one you may have to memorize as you memorized Katau. So first one we'll just say together Katau. Katau.
Katau.
Katau. Katua.
Katua.
Katauta.
Katauta.
Kataut.
Kataut.
Katauti.
Katauti.
Katawu.
Katawu.
Ketautem.
Ketautem.
Ketauten.
Ketauten.
Kataunu.
Kataunu.
Kataunu. Very good.
Kataunu.
Okay, so imperfect starts like this. So we have here ikto, tikto, tikto, tiktavi, yekto. He will write, she will write, you will write, you will write, I shall write. So ikto, tikto, tikto, tiktavi, yekto. Then iktavu, tiktona, tiktavu, tiktona, nikto. So here, how it's formed. So look here, this is a triconsonant root. Katau. This kaf, tau, and bet. Here just there is a prefix is added. Ikto, tikto, tikto. And here there is a prefix and there is a suffix. Here again there is a prefix. Then iktavu, there is a prefix and suffix. Prefix, suffix, prefix, suffix, prefix, suffix, and here only there is a prefix. So in some places only prefixes are there. In some other places both prefixes and suffixes are there. But they are easy to remember. All the verbal forms will have the same pattern. This is call imperfect. Ikto, ikto. So remember, call perfect and call imperfect. We can always make sense of any word. We can always make sense of. Only we need to remember these two slides, from imperfect slide and earlier call perfect slide. Good.
This
Then
imperfect, Father, sorry. This
Yes,
imperfect tense is only for the future tense. I will write.
That's what we are going to see next one, ma'am.
Father,
Okay.
Father,
Yes, miss.
excuse me, Father. See,
Yes,
the second one is tikto,
Yeah.
and the third one also is tikto.
The third one also tikto. From the context only we can make sense. Whether she will write or you will write.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. And similarly here also, is it the plural also it is?
Yeah. Tiktaunu, tiktauna, tiktauna.
Tiktauna, tiktauna, and the tiktebu and tiktebu also is there, right?
That is iktavu, tiktavu. So here E is
iktavu, okay.
Iktavu,
tiktavu, okay.
Iktavu, tiktona, tiktavu, tiktona, nikto.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Okay, good. So here, how do we translate? Mrs. Karen was asking, like iktol, usually that if by iktol we mean this is iktol. So iktol, and the other one is katal. So when, suppose here you look at here, let's take here. So here Amar is there. It is a imperfect form, so it is translated as God said or God spoke. But what we have now is ikto. So here ikto is usually present or future tense, but when it becomes a y iktol, when y is added, it becomes past tense. For example, vayomer. Vayomer actually means yo, that is yod is there. So it's like vayomer. So here that vayomer. So it is actually yo. This sound is there, and God will speak. But since vav is added, it becomes a past meaning. So that is here. When a vav is prefixed to a iktol, imperfect verb form, it always reverses or converts a verb to the opposite tense. So when va is added, though it is future meaning, it will become a past meaning. Hence the name vav conversive. So here it's to be, we have to know this name, vav conversive or vav consecutive, in the sense when it's a iktol alone, it is usually translated into future tense. But if it's added with the y, that is va, past tense in historical narratives. So here, suppose ikto means he will write. Suppose I say vai ikto, it means he wrote. So when you add va, it changes the tense. It means the future tense becomes past. So it becomes he wrote, vai ikto. So ikto means he will write. If you add va, it changes the meaning. That's why in Bible earlier, if you remember the Genesis narrative when we read, vayomer, we said God said and God said, because when you add vav, the meaning changes to past tense.
Father?
Yes.
If we wanted to add and also, how do you differentiate that?
Okay.
And God said.
Okay. So and God said, so that is called vakatal. So there is one more form. I put it here. So let's take. So here we have seen vaiktol. There is one more form, vakatal. So here just it flows like, for example, here vaiktol vakatal. Here it means and he and he killed. Here also it means and he killed. So it becomes va katal. Okay, sir. So these are two forms. With the iktol also you can write, and va katal also you can write. So here it becomes va, it becomes va. So that is a little difference.
Okay, Father. My question was, suppose the point when God said,
Yeah.
Vayomer, that's what we said. God said.
Yeah.
So, and God said, and simply God said. How do you differentiate that?
Okay. Simply God said, if they want to say, just they write katal, amar. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah. So okay. Here another thing. This has a narrative. So in Hebrew, for any narrative, they use this form, vayikol form.
It's only for narrative, historical narrative.
Historical narrative.
Okay.
For other places, like in Psalms and all, like poetic forms, like you killed my enemy or he killed my enemy. So just like that, for that they use katal. Okay. So just this is to continue with the narrative. Vayikol, vayomer, 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 and they go on like that. Again, we have to remember here, first the Hebrew was a language without
Vowels.
conjunctions.
Conjunctions.
Okay, so like in Greek, they just use kai, and it continues. So even without any break, like we have in Ephesians. So there are 9 verses in English Bible, all in one Greek sentence. So Paul constantly uses kai, and continues. But in English today we break into and, but, or, so like that. So this is like va is to be understood in that context. Like it just to continue the narrative, they would use vayiktol, vayomer, and the narrative will go on. Okay. Good.
Thank you for that.
Very good. So now let me say how we can take our Hebrew forward. Okay, so what I follow is number 1, dedication on a daily basis. Okay, daily, at least you read 1 verse at least in Hebrew, means at least you are familiar with the daily consonants, daily vowels. You are able to identify daily, dedication on a daily basis. Then Lambdin's vocabulary, which I have sent that's like a flashcard type, 55 lessons. So that is the only vocabulary needed for understanding the entire Bible, Hebrew Bible. So that way, Lambdin's vocabulary. Then Lambdin's lessons 1 to 55. Actually, I have covered now until 21 lessons. So the grammar proper we covered is 12 lessons. Then we have taken all the grammatical concepts. So only those grammatical concepts are here. Then the 1 to 55. So from 22, actually it's a formation of other verbs. And they are no much grammar is there except verbal patterns. Then Hebrew Bible. You read Hebrew Bible. I would advise that you read Book of Judges, because other texts are we are familiar. For example, Genesis 1 you take, you are familiar. Just you know what comes after. But if you know Genesis, Exodus, the texts are very familiar. But Judges is not familiar. So you take the Book of Judges and you try to understand it, and you go one by one. You can go with the text or you can go with audio, listening and reproducing in your own manner. Then there is Hebrew Analysis Bible. So we need not buy the entire Bible, but we can download, for example, Hebrew Analysis of Genesis. You take the entire book or one chapter, then it's given like an interlinear Bible format. Like Vayomer is there. They in the underneath they differentiate into sorry, Va plus Yomer, and Va is a conjunction. Yomer is this particle, and they give a root, so that way we can analyze that analysis Bible, and Bible works also we can use. Then forget not the alphabet. So everywhere at least you remember alphabets. So here, what I was doing when I was Biblicum, I used to write a diary in Hebrew, in the sense, suppose I want to write Yesu, just instead of writing Yesu, I will write with Yod and Sin. So just like that, you try to make sense of in your own way, you remember the alphabets. And there is this book, which you have in Amazon, by John Dobson, Learn Biblical Hebrew. It's a very good book. It integrates very many biblical grammar books. Even Lambdin is included here. So this is a very, very handy book and very holistic book. It gives a good understanding about the biblical Hebrew. So if you could afford, you can buy it. It's about 1700, so 1700. And there is some editions are available for 6,000 also. I don't know how they differentiate the editions. Good. Then I'll show you one more thing. Then with that, I'll conclude. Okay, so this is the book, the first one, Introduction to Biblical Hebrew. So this is the book of, are you able to see my screen? Okay, so this is the Lambdin's book, 371 pages. I will send this book. Okay, so this book is available in, if you do a Google search, you will get it, and Mr. Kumar already has it. Then Introduction to Hebrew Verbs. This already we have seen in the last class. Then this chart. So here, this is the chart. So we have seen perfect, imperfect. So here we have seen perfect, imperfect, imperative, infinitive construct, participle we have seen. So these four we have not seen: imperative, infinitive construct, infinitive absolute, participle passive. But they are derived from imperative. For example, you see here, katal, ketol. So this is the imperative form. And ketol, it's also infinitive form. So both are same usually. Then a-o is infinitive absolute. So only these three forms which we have not seen, but they are derived from here. Perfect, imperfect we have seen. And if you are familiar with the kal, then nifal is simple. Okay. So instead of katal, it is niktal, nifal. So you see here, e-a. So that same pattern is here. E-a, ikatel, tikatel, tikatel, tikatali, ekatel. So it becomes like this. So because the dot is there, so that is a passive meaning. So that way you can always make sense, because that one part is clear, that ikto, tikto, tikto is clear. Then all the verbal patterns will be easier. So this chart also I will send you. Then this is the entire chart. So this gives you the entire form. For example, suppose you look at the Bible, it is there yadati, and you want to know what type of sense it would make. For example, here yadauti, it is there. Yadauti means I know. So here yadati is first person, common, singular, perfect. So from here, that way you can make sense. So this is a reversal pattern. You take a verb, then you apply this to the chart, and you try to understand the meaning. This will take little time, because it's not like Latin alphabets that we know already, the alphabets and the consonants. But here it takes time, because we need to identify the form, then identify the triconsonantal, then identify the meaning, then finally come to understand the grammar part. So the steps are little numerous, but still it's worth reading. Good. Very good. So I will send you all these charts. Okay. Very good. Now I stop here. And one practical information about your exam, the final exam, I will give only a text. Okay, like the text which we saw this morning. I will ask you to analyze some word. For example, yada, analysis of verb, then analysis of noun and translation. So no vocabulary, no sentences will be there. Only some text will be there, some 3 or 4 verses which you have seen. And then I will ask you some. Then at the end, I will ask you to read. Okay, maybe when shall we fix the exam? When shall I send you the question paper? maybe by tomorrow evening, I will send the question paper. So you return the answers by Wednesday, and you fix a time by Wednesday for oral exam. Then we'll conclude.
The oral exam is from the words you have given or any words you are
from the same text. From the same text, I'll ask you to read.
Okay. Father, I'm just sharing the screen. 1 second. Just
Yes.
see whether it's okay to continue. So this is Exodus 1:1. This site is okay for that.
Yeah, correct. So this is the one. Sure.
This is the one you're talking about.
This gives an analysis. And there is one more, bible.org. Okay, that there also analysis is there. Okay.
So this is okay
so
for
this
that.
Is also a good one. Bible Hub. Okay. Yeah, you can continue with this. Bible Hub. Bible Hub is a good one. So you can take here, for example, there is an analysis. So here at the bottom, so they give you the meaning.
Yes, Father.
So that way, you need not think of the entire Bible. Like you consider, for example, 1 month, 1 chapter. You try take 1 chapter. For example, take familiar stories like Samson's story, Gideon's story, sacrifice of Isaac. Take some stories and you take 1 text and you be familiar with the text. Then you go for 1 Psalm, Psalm 23. You take Psalm and you try to go for analysis and you try to make sense. And the Psalm is very beautiful when it's read in Hebrew.
Okay, fine.
So, Mr. Kumar, after you preparing that, you can send me. Then I will.
Definitely.
Then we'll finalize and forward.
Yes, Father. I need some time for that because I wanted to put everything.
Sure.
And I will send it to you. Then we can chat to others. Father, will you keep this group alive or you will destroy it?
Yeah, this group will be there. We'll keep this group, okay, till the next batch starts. Okay, yeah, the next batch we haven't planned yet, but we need to, because 3 students actually, Joyce didn't continue, then Jayrani, then Mr. Sami. So we need to do some justice to them because they have paid the fees and all. So when the second group also is initiated, I will let you know. And for Greek, we are still thinking, and the chairman has to give permission. We have worked out the module, and I will share the details with you. Maybe if you are interested, or if anybody is interested, you can recommend. So good, thank you. So it was nice being with you, and I appreciate your eagerness to learn this Hebrew language and your dedication, hard work amidst your other works and family responsibilities. And I also have learned a lot of things from you, from your interactions. So I'm grateful to you. So pray for me. I'll also pray for you.
Thank you, Father.